It's the George Plaster Show, featuring Tennessee Sports Hall of Famers Kelly Holcomb and young gun Billy Derrick. And now, here's your host, George Plaster.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome in on a beautiful Thursday where we have a new angle for the crowd shot and the shot here at Sports and Social. It's a little scary, to be perfectly honest, but here we are. And welcome in. We're going to have some fun both today and tonight. So let me kind of tell you what's going on. This is our football night in Nashville promotion. The NFL game tonight is Seattle at Arizona, which I happen to think is going to be a terrific football game, but I also think the wrong team is favored. And so that may give you a little bit of a hint as to where I may go at the end. But if you come in tonight, there are a bunch of different things that are going to happen. The first one is you better register to win that beautiful golf cart, courtesy of the folks at Mikey's Motors. $15,100 golf cart, not exactly chump change. That's the first thing you do. Secondly, tonight, we're going to open up the Papa Shot competition, and I have a great prize to the person that gets the highest score while we have the Papa Shot competition going. I'll also do some trivia tonight. I got a bunch of prizes to give away. I am dangerous. Got a lot of stuff happening. Kelly Holcomb will join us today at 4 p.m. Parker Kelly is along for the ride. This is his first, I guess, remote. Would that be right? First remote?
First ever remote? Yeah, and things have gone well so far. I believe we're on the air. We sound good. Look at that.
Yeah, but you got to get in the picture.
That's right. I'm trying to adjust the camera here.
Don't be shortchanging yourself. So I'm told that Terry McCormick is ready. As all of you know, we start each show during football season with our daily Titans update. Terry McCormick is Main Street Media and TitanInsider.com. Terry, take us inside. What's going on?
Well, yesterday, George, after the segment, injury report was put out. Hasn't come out yet today, but one Cameron Ward showed up on the injury report as limited. Now, yesterday's practice was kind of a walkthrough, so it was an estimation, but he was listed on there with calf and ankle injury. So he was out there practicing today, at least during the open portion of the period, so there shouldn't be too much to worry about. But still, anytime your quarterback shows up on the injury report, there's always going to be a little bit of concern.
Terry, where are we speculating that it happened in the game?
Not really sure. I mean, he was sacked, 4 times, I think, by the Colts defense Sunday, and, was probably hit several more times. So probably would have been in one of those instances where he was in the pile and taken down. The one thing that I would have concern about, and, he wasn't wearing any kind of brace or didn't have anything taped or anything like that, but it did appear like that there might have been just a little bit of support on, under the sock on his right ankle. So if it's his right ankle and that's the one that he uses to plant with, then I would be a little concerned about being able to push off and follow through with throws, because if you can't do that, George, much like a baseball pitcher, pushing off the rubber, if you can't push off, a lot of times you're going to leave things high and wide, and you certainly don't need that if you're trying to hit a receiver into the open field.
Yeah, this is going to be a concern throughout the year. It's not like he's got a great offensive line behind him. And, there are times he's going to have to get out of that pocket and get out of harm's way. And Terry, the odds of him making it through 17 are not great.
No, I mean, and when you're talking about a team that's not protected the quarterback very well, really for the last 3 or 4 years. I mean, how many guys have we seen get dinged up behind this line? I mean, it happened to Ryan Tannehill twice in 2 years, in his last 2 years here. It happened to Will Levis at least twice, knocked out of games, or knocked out of one game and then re-injured it and didn't come out in another game. And, that's part of playing quarterback in the league, but you certainly don't want to see your guy take shots because that leads to problems and ineffectiveness and things like that. And, Cam Ward, goodness knows, with the lack of talent across this roster, he needs all the help he can get as far as trying to stay healthy and be at the top of his game.
Terry, what else do you want to toss out there? Because normally you bring me a couple 3 notes. Tell me what's up.
Well, same guys as yesterday that weren't in the open part of practice, and that would be J.C. Latham. Certainly a big concern there at right tackle. And then Khalil Mullins, running back, backup running back, special teamer. And then also Bryce Oliver, the special teamer and receiver, still not out there on the practice field due to a knee injury. So, Titans trying to piece things together, but the injuries are starting to mount.
Okay. Nothing else we need to get to?
Well, I guess some of the furor about the Jarvis Brownlee trade has kind of died down now. So they get down to business against the Texans. And, George, I'll throw this little note at you. It's the last game they won was last year in Houston. And that they've since lost 8 games in a row altogether. So, might be a good time to try and end this losing streak for Brian Callahan if he can at all on Sunday.
They're a mystery to me, the Texans. First of all, there's no way you can say that C.J. Stroud has done anything but regress in the last year and a half. The rookie season, he was out of this world. He hadn't been anything like that. People in Houston are complaining that Bobby Slowick has gotten very conservative. And Terry, when I look at them, this doesn't look anything like the Houston Texans that I think I'm used to.
No, in fact, they fired Bobby Slowick after last year. They've got a new guy that they brought in from the Rams, Nick Caley or something like that. Can't remember his name. But anyway, they're on him too. And really, George, the root of their problem is a lot like the Titans. It's the offensive line. Their offensive line has been terrible. They made a bunch of changes in the offseason to try and fix that. But just like the Titans, it hasn't resulted in any success.
Terry, appreciate the update. Good report. And we'll do it again tomorrow at 4 p.m.
All right. Sounds good, George.
Okay, that's our daily Titans update with Terry McCormick, Main Street Media and TitanInsider.com. And trust me when I tell you that you are not going to have to look at this ugly mug of mine in this picture if you're watching on podcast. In a few minutes, we're going to aim it at that big screen at Sports and Social to let you know how cool this place really is. Parker.
All right, brought to you by our Football Night in Nashville promotion. Join us at Sports and Social in Green Hills Mall tonight as Seattle travels to Arizona. So I was looking through the sports world today and some news. Not as many headlines as the past couple of days, so we might be pretty light, but I still have some things. So this was announced earlier today. I saw this from Ross Dellinger over at On3 and Yahoo Sports. So jersey patches are now going to be allowed on college uniforms starting as early as the fall of 2026. I think this is something we all saw coming.
So if a beer company wants to get in there after the NCAA has spent all this time at NCAA tournaments putting this black thing over beer ads like you're at a funeral, now it'll be okay for old Budweiser to step in?
If they pay up. if they pay up, they'll let them on. So
Wow.
that's just kind of how the world of college athletics works right now.
These are different times.
Different times indeed. So, George, I really want your thoughts on this. The Guardians, they have overtaken the Tigers as they won last night. Was it true the Tigers were in front by 15 games before the All-Star break? And since that point, the Guardians have come all the way back?
I don't know what the number was. First of all, the happiest person in town is my buddy Darren McFarland. Big Cleveland Indians, Guardians, whatever the hell you want to call them. He's ecstatic. And I haven't even talked to him, but I know he's pumped. First of all, Cleveland has a really good manager in Stephen Vogt. And this guy has clearly, led them to this comeback. Now, Danny's going to talk about this in a few minutes. What I think is going on in Detroit, number one, is their starting pitching has completely collapsed. Tarek Skubal, great pitcher, but in the last month has become hittable. They released Charlie Morton last Sunday. Their starting pitching has gotten them nowhere, and they're in deep you-know-what.
And Charlie Morton, who got picked up by the Braves for whatever reason?
Well, it's basically a sentimental thing. Don't be surprised if over the weekend Charlie Morton makes a start in kind of a, go out, in a blaze of glory. I like that the Braves did this. This is a really cool move.
Going to New York Jets quarterback Justin Fields has returned to practice today out of concussion protocol. And if he is cleared, he will start on Sunday as they take on the Miami Dolphins, the battle of 0-3 teams.
They need him.
Desperately.
Yeah, that desperately is right. He's another one that runs around a lot. And this has got to be a concern for JETS as they go forward.
They need him because Tyrod Taylor did not look swell last week. We'll just leave it at that. Okay, this is an interesting story. So Indiana, the Hoosiers football team, Louis Moore, who's a safety, he has won a lawsuit versus the NCAA, but who among us has not won a lawsuit against the NCAA at this point? He has won a lawsuit that is going to allow him to play the rest of the season. So he spent 3 years at a junior college, Navarro Junior College in Texas, and then spent a season at Indiana, a season at Ole Miss, and now he's back for another year in Bloomington.
Yeah, I do think it's a pretty cool story. Apparently, his lawyers have felt like ever since Diego Pavia won his, or when I say won his suit, I guess forced a stalemate where he was able to play this year. This guy's attorneys have believed from that minute on that that this young guy was going to get cleared to do this.
Yeah, they need him because Indiana looks a lot different than the Indiana of last year, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They're much improved. They have NFL guys on all three levels of that defense, so that's a huge boost for the number 11 Hoosiers. Last thing, the University of Florida starting quarterback DJ Lagway was spotted in a boot earlier this week. Now, for whatever reason, they play Texas in a couple of weeks, and for whatever reason, when Texas plays an opponent, it seems like that starting quarterback always goes through a buzzsaw. First, it's DJ Lagway. He did not play in Austin last year. He'll probably play against Texas this year. This year, it'll be in Gainesville. And John Mateer at Oklahoma hurt his hand. He's out a minimum of 3 weeks. And Texas has Oklahoma in, I believe, 2 or 3 weeks in the Red River Shootout.
Interesting. By the way, tomorrow morning, even if you're not a big golf fan, and I'll admit I'm not a huge one like Kelly is, but will I wake up a little early to watch the Ryder Cup? Darn tootin' I will. That's a cool event. I wish they would do it where they don't go up against football season. I wish somehow it could be at late August because it's the coolest thing golf has to offer. even if you're not a big golf fan, tune in tomorrow morning to the Ryder Cup because it's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that. But whenever football season rolls around, it's kind of all I can focus on. So,
well, Saturday and Sunday, my guess is that their audience goes down because of football. But on Friday, the people that are either able to play hooky or watch by way of phone or, got a TV at work, however they do it, I think a lot of people watch on Friday. We done with the update?
We're done with the update.
Okay, after the break, Danny Evans will join us, and we have got a ton of races that are going right to the wire in Major League Baseball. This is the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
A golf cart from Mikey's Motors is the perfect way to get around this summer. Whether you're going to the park, the pool, or the playground, do it in a brand new golf cart from Mikey's Motors, Franklin and Murfreesboro.
Summertime fun in Tennessee. That's what we sell at Mikey's Motors. Come see how we roll.
If you're looking for fun for the family, it's easy to say good things about the folks at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers. Number one, I trust them with something that's near and dear to me. The Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. But more importantly, I see the fun people have. They enjoy the bowling, they enjoy the camaraderie, and you will too. Come by any of their locations and get ready to have some fun.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
At Wilson Bank and Trust, we believe you shouldn't have to choose between personal service and digital solutions. As your local independent bank, we're proud to offer the relationships and trusted service you expect, along with the tools and technology that keep you moving forward. So whether you're growing a business, buying a home, or planning for the future, we're here to help. Because this isn't just where we work, it's where we live too. Wilson Bank and Trust, here to get you there. Member FDIC.
Are you looking for expert medical care in Nashville without leaving your home? Medical House Calls brings concierge-level health care directly to your door. Whether you need urgent attention, ongoing primary care, revitalizing IV therapy, or medically guided weight loss, our experienced providers are just a phone call away at 615-838-2375 or go online, medicalhousecalls.com.
Radio lives here. Your sports live here on ESPN 94.9 The Fan.
It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
It is football night in Nashville. And as you can see, if you're watching our podcast, we are at Sports and Social, where it's a little quiet right now, but it won't be tonight around 7 o'clock. Good game. Arizona and Seattle from the desert. Seattle's like a 1.5-point favorite, so they expect this to be a really close game. Tonight, we're going to open up some Pop-A-Shot competition. I've got some good prizes there. We're going to do a little bit of trivia. Got some good prizes there. You need to come in to register to win a $15,000 plus golf cart, courtesy of the folks at Mikey's Motors. So, football night in Nashville could be replaced by baseball day in Nashville with Danny Evans coming on. Danny, Major League Baseball's got to be doing an absolute dance right now about how many races are going right to the wire.
Nailed it, George. I'm going to call this baseball hour in Nashville. George, you know what? They have great races, and they also have the biggest television markets for the most part. In the first 12 to 14 markets in the country, they are almost all represented in the races. And as a result, I think there's a ton of attention in markets throughout North America. Think about it. Toronto has the entire country of Canada rallying around the Jays. So from the North American continent, stretching all the way back to Asia, baseball is really having a good time of it.
Danny, I'm gonna go Braves for a minute, and then we're gonna delve into these races. The Braves thing at this point is basically you can call it what you want. It's for me. So here goes. 10-game winning streak out of nowhere. Now, that streak's been snapped. Washington beat them yesterday. But does that 10-game winning streak, in your mind, mean that it's more likely Brian Snitker is saying, I want to come back, we're going to be pretty good? Or is it him saying, I kind of get to go out riding a high? What do you think?
Wow, great question, George. I think it first solidifies the opinion of many baseball people, myself included, that without injuries, this would be an elite contending team. This team is better than the Mets. It's on a par with the Phils. It wasn't because their nucleus was just absolutely, decimated by injuries. And also, it's a team that didn't perform to the best of its abilities for a lot of 25. I think it puts Snitker in a position where he can come back if he wants to, instead of fading and having a bad last month and a half, making it easy for everybody involved to say, maybe you should move on. If it's me, I think it shows this is still a club that can play with anybody if healthy. And if I were them, I would be going to ownership saying, let's be aggressive. We have our nucleus returning. We have good vibes about our team. Let's give ourselves a better chance of winning next year by spending some money on some players, making some trades, and let's go after it in 26.
Okay, last thing on the Braves. Hassan Kim, who I love, but I loved him as a Padre. He can really play. And it looks like he's healthy. He's done incredibly well with the Braves. But because he's done so well in the free agent market where there's very little shortstop help, there's a belief now in Atlanta that with him being represented by Scott Boras, that they're not going to be able to re-sign him. What do you think?
I don't think you let him get away, George. You know the player. He's played for you. You know it's a great environment. I think they did a really strategically brilliant move. We talked about this about a month ago. They've got their shortstop if they want it. And if he wants to play his hand as a free agent, I think you don't let him get away and you get him done. He has done exactly what the Braves wanted, which is play well and merit consideration. George, they don't have to go after a shortstop. They've got him. I think you nailed it. George, there aren't a lot of really good options out there. This guy's a good fit. He's a good player. He's a winner. I've liked him since he was in Korea. I think he's their guy Don't let him slip away. Spend where you have to spend. You got yourself a real good player. And George, you know they talked about this before they claimed him because you knew the risk you were incurring taking on the salary and the contract with the player option. For me, this is the best case scenario. The players played well. He has leverage. That's ideal for you as a team because that means he solved the need that you claimed him for.
Okay. I'm going with you on that because I think you're right. If we can, Parker, let's put up the graphic that shows these three races and how tight they are going into today, because it's absolutely insane what's happening. First of all, in the American League East, Toronto and the Yankees are now dead even. 90 wins, 68 losses. Danny, I'll admit, I'm disappointed in Toronto. They should have closed this deal. I guess it's their pitching ultimately that didn't allow it to happen.
George, I don't think they know how to win. They haven't really had a great season, candidly, since I was there about 9 years ago. And I'm not saying I was the reason, but Alex Anthopoulos led that club, and that club was terrific, got to the LCS in consecutive years. Since then, they have not won a playoff series. And I think when you're a group that hasn't won, sometimes the winning part is hard. But George, their starting pitching has faltered, and it has faltered miserably in the last 3 weeks, giving them the current scenario. They don't want to be a wild card team. They've already done that, and they failed miserably in that area. But the Yankees are playing well again. I just like the Yankees over the Blue Jays in this final week.
Yeah. In the Central, our buddy Darren McFarland is dancing in the streets because Cleveland, with a really good manager in Stephen Vogt, have overtaken Detroit. It looks to me, Danny, like Tarek Skubal became human in the last month, much more hittable, and what's behind him simply wasn't good enough.
George, an epic collapse. And this is one of the biggest collapses in the history of the game. This isn't just a casual, we had a bad month. They've had a historic bad last couple months. They've been very ordinary for an extended period. The ironic thing is that Cleveland sold at the deadline, and they blatantly sold. And their manager and their culture is so good that they were able to figure it out. And now they're the hottest team in the game, along with Seattle. I think Cleveland's going to win the division. I think right now, Detroit is who Cleveland was last year, where Detroit passed Cleveland and they passed them like they were on the Audubon last year. Now it's the other way around. And I think Detroit is still a really good team. But after Skubal, they're kind of ordinary from a starting rotation. And I think that's what's plagued them in September. This is a great race. I love that they're playing each other. But I think what you have is a situation where Cleveland right now has Big Mo on their bench, and I think they're the team to beat. I think Detroit's going to end up being a wild card team.
So, Danny, Detroit felt like, through certainly the end of June, All-Star break, that not only were they going to win the division going away, but that they were a real World Series kind of contender. At the moment, they don't feel that way. If it plays out that they flame out, what happens in Detroit?
Well, I think, George, they didn't top out their club at the deadline. They didn't do anything to radically improve their club. They were in on conversations as far as we know and what's in the media, but they didn't do anything to radically improve their ball club. They also are still going to be a really good team. They're going to win 87, 88 games over the course of the year. That's a pretty darn good season. But the Indians outpitched him and outplayed him when it mattered. I'm a big Stephen Vogt fan. I was a big fan of his as a player. Terry Francona established a culture there in Cleveland, and it's really worked this year with a different manager, but the culture is the same. I think Detroit is another example of a team that hasn't put together a full season. George, there was a point where I thought they were the best team in baseball. And then Milwaukee surpassed them, and then they kind of evaporated. But their collapse is one of epic proportions. And, they're lucky they're not going to get aced out of a playoff spot, but they're going to probably be a wild card team instead of a division champion with a bye.
So let's go to the National League wild card race. And let me say up front, this has just happened in the last few minutes. Cincinnati has finally gotten a win against the Pirates. So the graphic you see, those of you who are watching by way of podcast, Cincinnati is now 81-78, a half game behind the Mets, a half game ahead of Arizona. Let me start with the Mets. There feels like a total panic in New York of, oh, Lord, the Mets, they always do this, blah, blah, blah. They really have some mental baggage around that franchise, don't they?
George, when you collapse the way they have, the way Detroit has, it's different in New York. Because in New York, you've got media, you've got sports talk radio, you've got the epicenter of sports in North America, and you can't avoid it. And they also have a team that as a unit has not won together. So there's some self-doubt. These are human beings. There's self-doubt that comes into play. And George, they just simply have not performed. For that team to be only 4 games over 500 on the 25th of September is a failure on their part as a franchise. I mean, George, 2 months ago, they were right there with the Phils. And, the Phils were playing really well, and the Mets were right with them. Well, that's no longer the case. That has become a very lopsided division. And I think what we have here is a team trying to drag its way to the finish line, trying to cross the line. They'll still be a decent club in the postseason, but right now, I like Cincinnati. And I like Cincinnati given their manager, and I like Cincinnati based on the way they've played. I don't have the schedule in front of me about the last weekend and who their respective opponents are.
I think right they go to Milwaukee, don't they?
I thought so. And where do the Mets go?
I don't have it in front of me, but during the break, I'll get it.
Okay. I just kind of like Francona with his bunch of guys who haven't won versus the Mets who seemingly are taking on water. And I think the great thing, George, when the wild card was initiated in 95, this is what they were trying to do. And now as they've added a second and a third team, look at what we have with 4 days to go in the season. I think this is terrific. And you know what, George, what I'm really proud of is all of us on this show have been talking about the Mets going downhill, the Reds gaining ground, and Arizona gaining ground, Cleveland gaining ground for a month. We are not blindsided by this at all. We've been talking about this for an extended period.
Mets go to Miami for the final 3. So
Miami's playing great right now.
Yeah. So let me be negative here. If the Mets gag this, is there a managerial change coming?
I don't know that because I don't know the relationship of Stearns and his manager. There could be a clamoring from ownership or from the fan base. But I think we always seem to forget to point the finger at the players too. There are some underperforming star players that have not done their job. And subsequently, they need to share some of the blame too.
So I have this goofy feeling that when you get all this stuff, this graphic that we've put up that people who are watching by way of podcast can see, that we're going to have at least one mess up of a tie that has to be figured out on Monday. What do you think?
We might, but a lot of the tiebreakers prevent a game being played on Monday. So there are head-to-head competition, divisional competition, interleague competition, and many of those are so definitive to prevent the tie from occurring, because you want to play Tuesday. Tuesday it all starts, George. We're 5 days away from the postseason. I think what we're going to have is meaningful games on Saturday and Sunday. I absolutely love it. I mean, for me, I'm not a football guy. For me, on Sunday, if my day is spent watching every game start at the same time, the drama of the last day could be epically fun.
Agreed. Okay, so let me do this before we go to the break, and then we're going to open up the phones for you all to talk some baseball with Danny. Is it your feeling that of all the teams that are likely to make postseason, I think you're going to tell me the Dodgers are back to being number one in your mind? Who's number two?
Well, you nailed the Dodgers thing. I think their bullpen took care of itself and luckily failed before the postseason so they could reshuffle. It looks like Trinan, Yates are probably on the outside looking in. Sasaki last night was dominant. Kershaw was outstanding. Their starting rotation is solid. They very quietly moved Ohtani to the number one spot. He's been dominant as a starter. So I like the Dodgers in the National League. I like the Mariners. And I like the Mariners a ton and have liked them for a month plus. They have the best pitching, good defense, and they have momentum on their side. That Mariner club has played extremely well when it's mattered in September.
And boy, all of a sudden, last night, looked like that place was sold out. I never got a chance to see an attendance figure, but I was watching. Their game started here around 8:45 Central Time, and that place was as full on a weeknight. Same thing in Cincinnati last night as I have seen in a long time, and I love that. That's what this wild card is doing.
No question. And George, Mariner fans are great. I worked there for 6 years. They love this team. Raleigh hit a ball in the upper tank last night. The ball was the first home run was absolutely destroyed. That place erupted. And I think, for me at least, I think the Mariners just have a lot of good things going for them right now going in. And they've surpassed a really good Astros club to get there. They swept them when they needed to. This is a team, I think, that's going to be a hard team to beat because, George, their starting rotation is outstanding.
And deep.
Very. Good call.
Good call on your end. They went into Houston and took no prisoners. Actually, it looked like they did take some prisoners. Astro prisoners. Okay.
In today's world, we got to be careful how we say that, but yes.
I almost butchered that. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to open the phones. I am looking for some red-blooded Americans who want to talk a little baseball with Danny. Please jump in now because I'm going to devote the entire segment to it. 615-759-9949. Again, 615-759-9949. Your phone calls with Danny Evans on Baseball Day in Nashville, which will soon be Football Night in Nashville. Either way, this is the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
This is my buddy Stan Harrison from Apple Collision. This is my buddy Stan Harrison from companies that have a fleet of trucks. This is my buddy Stan Harrison from Apple Collision.
Understand that nobody.
This is my buddy Stan Harrison from Apple Collision Centers. Recently, you've been talking to me about companies that have a fleet of trucks and they're always in need of repairs.
That's right, George. We understand that nobody likes to deal with the auto body repair process. We try to simplify that at our 3 convenient locations. We work with all major insurance companies. We help to ease the stress of the auto body repair process. We're located in Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin. If you need our services, please stop by and see us.
And how convenient that we have that in the background. Now, seriously, these are good folks. They do really good work. Give them a holler. Sports and Social at Green Hills Mall is the new home for our football night in Nashville promotion. Their food is terrific. Their TV setup looks like a racing sports book in Vegas. And if you're a sports fan, you can't beat it. Starting September the 4th, we'll broadcast from Sports and Social every Thursday night. There's Pop-A-Shot, great football, and the chance to win a beautiful Mikey's Motors golf cart. See you at Sports and Social in Green Hills Mall. Venture Express has been helping people. Venture Express has been helping people in this area for more than 40 years. They're headquartered in Murfreesboro with over 30 years of dedicated fleets involving production, manufacturing, and corrugated experiences. They're an asset-based company with over 700 tractors, 4,000 trailers, and 800 drivers. If you need their help, dial them up 615-793-9500 or log on to ventureexpress.com.
Who heard my segment on your show.
Here's Officer Garen Hoskins for the Metro Nashville Police Department.
The Metro Nashville Police Department is on the forefront of policing in this century, and I'm glad I'm a part of it. I'm glad I get to find other good officers, other future good officers. And if you're watching today, or you yourself or someone you happen to know is interested, join mnpd.com. Feel free to reach out to us because we need good officers, and it's a great city to work for.
Find the fan.
Okay, if you tried just a couple of minutes ago to get in and did not get through, I know there are a couple of lines open. Go ahead and try again at 615-759-9949. Let's start in Nolensville. Tony, say hello to Danny Evans.
Hello, Danny, and hello, George, guys. It's always good talking to you. And I'll just get right to it, Danny. First of all, you hear somebody say 2 great minds think alike. Well, 3 great minds do, because you 2 guys have stolen a lot of my thunder of what I was going to be talking about.
I'm not going to disagree with you on that assessment, Tony. Good job.
On my cheat sheets I was going to just touch on today, I was going to touch on the races, George and Danny, how so many races there are, still wide open, still coming down to the wire. Which, Danny and George, I'm like y'all, love it that the last weekend of baseball's coming down to a meaningful situation and a lot of races. And at the same time, I was thinking just what a wonderful season we've all been treated to this year with so many of the record breakers, with Schwarzer breaking both the home runs of the switch hitter. And then the other night, he hit the most home runs as a left-hander against left-handed pitchers as a switch hitter. And you got those records, and you also got, y'all can talk about the Tigers' collapse. But what I find intriguing also, Danny, during this season is Well, the Cubs have maintained a hold on to the wild card driver's seat, despite some guy that calls this show named Eric and his Reds. I tell you what, they put a whipping on the Cubs those 4 games and ended it with 2 bookends of 1-0. And I'm not sure I want to play them right now once we get into the playoffs. But the Cubs have been able to maintain and hold on, and I just hope they can seal the deal and hold that coveted number 1 wild card seat. So, and that's going to be tough for them to do. I think, Danny, when the Reds beat them, I think they were still in the champagne from after they clinched. So sometimes that happens, sometimes it don't. But, guys, 2 things I want to – Danny, I got a question for you, and then one more interesting thing I saw the other night. First of all, and y'all talking about the Seattle Mariners, they are a fun team to watch. We don't see them that much, Danny, on the here in the central part of America and the East Coast type stuff. But I found it interesting that their head coach, what's his name, Dan Wilson, he was also their catcher. They've had 4 division titles, and he was their catcher on the first 3, and now the manager of this year's team. I thought that was rather interesting, and I just think it's something, and it's been fun to watch Cal Raleigh. I think that's the way you say his name, Cal Raleigh.
Yes, exactly right.
He hit last night, they said was the longest home run hit this year, almost 470 feet. So, and yeah, it was a bomb. And so, with that being said, and I want to ask you the question. Early in the year, right off the bat, everybody was talking about the missile bat. There was all this controversy of the missile bat. Why are you not hearing no more controversy about the missile bat here throughout the season and at the end of the year? I found that rather interesting that that's a topic that just went away and it's A-okay and it's just something that it's not talked about. And one last thing,
I got to run because I got a bunch of folks on here.
I know you do. Thank you, George. See you guys.
Tell me about the missile bat real quick.
The torpedo bats were the talk of the game the first 5 days of the season. I think a lot of people hadn't read the information about it. It surprised some people. It's gone away because, it's been approved by Major League Baseball and nobody has complained about it while no one has either given it credit for what they've been doing. So I think it's gone away. As a result, the bat, I think, is a non-issue, George.
Mike in Melrose, you're up next with Danny Evans.
Good afternoon, guys. I'm actually not in Melrose. I'm actually in Philadelphia, right across from the baseball stadium.
I love it.
This town is hopping between the Phillies and the Eagles. I mean, they're a little bit happier than Nashville. Speaking of Dan Wilson, he's also a former Nashville Sound.
He sure is.
Way back in the day. If I recall correctly, George, did you not count out the Reds and the Guardians about 6 weeks ago?
Yeah, and so did you.
Closer.
So did you.
Not.
Yeah, you did. Come on, everybody did.
I don't count anybody out except my Rangers.
And the Braves.
Yeah, I'm reading a book. One more thing, I'll let you go. I've been reading a book about Babe Ruth. You know how many MVPs that he won? You know, Danny?
Well, it was a different rule back then, Mike. Once you won it, you couldn't win it again. He won one, correct?
I didn't know that.
They didn't actually give it out like his first 5 or 6 years. Yeah, he won one, and he never won a Triple Crown, but he just missed like 7 times.
That's right. No, you couldn't win it multiple times back then. It originated as the Chalmers Award, and then they got into a point where you could win it in consecutive years or multiple years, but initially you could not. So he and Gehrig only won it one time.
All right, y'all wish me luck tonight. I'm actually wearing a Dodger jersey, a Bueller jersey, because he's pitching tonight. So hopefully they'll treat me nice up here.
Hey,
Y'all take
enjoy
care.
it up there.
Fun place, good food.
Let me go Frank in Smyrna next. Frank, welcome.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How we doing?
Good.
Well, Frank, what do you have for us?
Eddie, I went to Atlanta 3 weeks ago when the Mariners were there, and yes, sir, they made a believer out of me. I think they are a legitimate World Series title contender. They have the complete package, and I saw Cal Raleigh hit, I guess, number 52 and 53. I can't remember. He's in quite a few since then, but I just love their lineup top to bottom. You know, Naylor and Eugenio Suarez, who is a Braves killer, by the way, has just made all the difference in the world. That is a serious contender. Their pitching is absolutely on point. They made a believer out of me. In the National League, I still don't discount the Brewers, and I am pulling hard for the Cincinnati Reds to make it, and I think they're going to make it. The fans up there, Eric, I'm going to swell your head a bit. Yeah, Braves country's pulling for you, man, because we, the fans in Cincinnati deserve to see postseason baseball. It's about to kill me that I'm not going to get to see it this year. I know I'm a spoiled Braves fan, but Danny, I heard what you said about the shortstop. What I'm curious to know is it's being talked about in Atlanta with Ozzie Albies now that he's injured his hand again, and do they pick up his $7 million option for next year, or do they pay him $4 million and send him on his way?
Frank, I'm going to let you hear this off air if that's okay.
That sounds good, George. Thank you very much, Danny. Good talking to you as always.
Thanks, Frank. Frank, I think their orthopedic guy is going to make that roster call. Hand injuries in baseball are really difficult because of the amount of things you need to do with your hands in the game, especially as a middle infielder and especially as a hitter. So I think their ortho guy is going to probably make that call. My guess is he'll be okay. And I think he and Kim have a very, very different look for the 26 Braves.
Ralph on line 4. Say hello to Danny Evans.
Hi, Danny and everybody. Danny, a couple of decades ago, George threw out a question about if you had to win one game, who would be your starting pitcher? And, of course, a different era now than then. But at that time, I was listening, didn't get to call in, and I would have picked Mike Scott from Houston at the time, which he was rolling out the splitter.
Yeah.
And then Steve Carlton. And I was curious if you've seen them up close and personal and what their stuff looked like. And if you had to win one game and have a starter today, who that might be.
I love the question, Ralph. I'm going to let you hear this off air. Good stuff.
That's fine.
I'd take 1968 Bob Gibson, and I'd take my chances against any team in Major League history. I loved Mike Scott. He scuffed. He had nasty, just diving life on his quote-unquote splitter. And Carlton was nasty. I got to know Steve at the end of his career with the White Sox. Those are a couple of great, great guys. Mike Scott with a legendary performance at the end of their playoff run when he threw a no-hitter. You know, there's a lot of guys. Sometimes it's the matchup against the other team, but I'd take 68 Bob Gibson against anybody.
So let's wrap that's a great question that he came with. I love it.
Elite question. I loved it too.
This is going to be a TV bonanza, isn't it? Got about a minute.
George, I'm struggling. I got the Ryder Cup and I've got baseball. And I am not going to be denied, so I'm going to be watching both. Between the phone, the iPad, and 4 TVs, it's going to be crazy. But George, I love it. This is why I love sports.
Sure.
We don't know. It's entirely unpredictable what we're going to see. And while that's merciless and relentless, I love it. And I love the Ryder Cup. So for me, plus watching a little Iowa State football, a little CU football. This for me is going to be Nirvana weekend from a sports perspective.
I love it. Danny, you are the best. Thank you as always.
Thanks to the callers. Great questions. And George, thanks for your questions in the early stage. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
See you guys.
It's pretty amazing what is about to go down on the big league level, because Danny's right. The Saturday and Sunday drama is going to be insane. It really is. Those of you watching by way of podcast, we are at Sports and Social. You're seeing it by way of podcast. Others of you need to come out tonight. Good football game, Seattle and Arizona, and a chance to win a golf cart. This is the George Plaster Show.
Hey guys, it's Mike from Newton Nissan. You know about our tailgate giveaway, right? Well, did you know we have a second giveaway for every person who buys a new vehicle from us? It's our free lifetime warranty. That's right. It covers your engine and transmission for as long as you own your car at absolutely no cost to you. It's the ultimate peace of mind. This September, get a chance to win cooler, chairs, Titan tickets, and get a warranty for life. That's how we help you change your experience. Come see us today or shop online with Newton FastPass.
Hey guys, Big Joe here for Busy Bee. Listen, National Grandparent Day is September the 8th, so we're celebrating all month by extending a free Beehive membership to grandparents of current Beehive Club members. Now, you must currently have a Beehive Club membership already to qualify. And listen, I'm a member. I'd love for you to be a member as well. It is simply fantastic. Busy Bee, the only way to go.
Music City's Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway is back in action Saturday, October 4th. It's Fall Thunder and Breast Cancer Awareness Night with the pro late models and 7 fast-paced divisions of racing. On the quarter mile, get ready for the thrills and spills at America's favorite short track. Grandstands open at 3 and racing at 5. Kids 11 and under are free. Discount tickets will be available online at NashvilleFairgroundsSpeedway.racing or the box office at 615-254-1986. Nashville Fairgrounds. Be there.
Now, here's your latest Fox 17 Code Red weather report.
Brought to you by Window Nation. Get 2 free windows when you buy 2 at windownation.com.
I'm Fox 17 meteorologist Brett Luna. More rounds of scattered showers and thunderstorms are possible today, but no severe weather is expected. Highs will be in the lower 80s. Once we get past today, we move back into a pretty quiet pattern of mostly sunny and mostly dry from Friday through the middle of next week.
Your sports live here on the Game Nashville Sports Network.
Your sports live here. WBUZ HD3 Laverne. All around the world on the Game Nashville app. We are the Game Nashville Sports Network. ESPN 94.9. The Fan. A Cromwell media station.
It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Our stat of the day is brought to you by Apple Collision Centers. George, this is going to be a good one. If I can get it to pull up here.
Okay, hold on here a minute.
We've been having some issues with this.
We're about to break some new ground today. If I get this right, this will be the 3rd in a row that I will have gotten right.
The 3rd in a row, and Kelly is not here to witness.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Dan Wilson played for the Mariners when they last won the AL West in 2001. Now he managed them to the AL West championship. Who was the last manager to play for and then manage division titles for a team?
For the same team?
No, just for a team.
Okay. Who was the last manager to play for and then manage division titles for a team? I guess I'm caught by the wording. For instance, Lou Piniella with the Yankees played for a division title team, but then managed the Seattle Mariners. Seems like that would be one. but you're asking who was the last. See, first of all, you can see the answer, can't you?
I can see the answer.
Okay.
I know the answer.
Is the answer that the person played for and managed the same team?
No, it is a different team. Different teams that he played for and managed.
Okay. This is a real stumper right now. Gosh. Dave Roberts. Dave Roberts played for the Red Sox. I don't know. You're going to have to give it to me. I'm going to say Dave Roberts.
Do you have a final guess? Dave Roberts. That's the final guess?
Yeah.
All right.
Craig Counsell. Wow. Okay. So the 2-game winning streak in Stat of the Day is over. We welcome all of you officially into the 4 o'clock hour from Sports and Social in Green Hills, where it is football night in Nashville. Good game tonight. By the way, I'm in a little bit of a stall so that Parker can try to get all the contestants into the Underdog picks.
I think I have them.
Okay.
Let's give it a go.
So those of you watching by way of podcast, we're at Sports and Social tonight at Seattle and Arizona, which ought to be a really good game. When you come in, you register to win that beautiful $15,000 golf cart. We will have a prize for the best Papa Shot competition, and it's a really nice prize. And I'm going to give away, by way of trivia, a bunch of prizes as well. So given that Parker is new to this, we're going to give him a week, and then he will be named the commissioner.
I love that title.
Yeah, well, don't get all excited.
Give me a little bit more power, George.
So okay, first let's say hello to Kelly Holcomb, who is down in southern Middle Tennessee somewhere. Kelly, how are you?
Kelly's not on.
Kelly's not on.
Kelly's not on. We have the General, we have Pogie, and we have Chuck McDowell.
Okay, let's start with the General. General, how are you today?
Peaches.
Will you be traveling to Starkville?
No, I will not.
I didn't think so.
I've been there. It's a nice place to go to a game, though.
Is it?
Yeah, the fans are really nice.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, you're exactly right about that. Okay, let's then get Pogie on the line with us. Greg, how are you?
George, good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for participating. You doing okay?
Well, and let Parker know that just because you're commissioner today, you could be easily defrocked as a commissioner, as I was mid-season.
What would be your definition of defrocked?
Sort of like when I got groped at the Wild Horse wearing a Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well,
this is a family.
You've told that story 14 times.
I have never used that word. Chuck McDowell is the third contestant that I know is on the line. Chuck, how are you?
I don't know how you expect me to follow that, but I'm doing great. I'm up in the mountains of North Carolina with my beautiful bride celebrating our 13th wedding anniversary. I just had a very strange experience in a spa, so let's keep it weird.
Yeah, I can tell. I can tell that's where we're headed. Oh, okay. I've got to ask, Chuck, I got to ask one question. Your pick last week, even though I'm supposed to review these in a minute, was the Hawaii game, which is the last one on the board at 11 p.m. on Saturday. Did you attempt to watch it?
Now, to say I attempted would be accurate, but I was really happy when I woke up the next morning. I had Fresno on a money line, and I had my rainbows plus 3.5, and I hit a little middle on them. So it was a good morning. But this looked a lot easier riding down the road, listening to it on the radio.
Okay. Let's then officially get to review. I'm not sure. Is Kelly with us?
Unfortunately, we do have Kelly.
Oh.
I am here. Unfortunately, Parker, you're starting to go a little bit out of your boundary, Hoss.
Hey, calm down. I'm the commissioner. You shouldn't talk to the commissioner like that.
No, you're not the commissioner until next week.
You're not the commissioner just yet there, homie.
So, Kelly, you're down in southern Middle Tennessee somewhere.
I don't know where I am. I'll be honest, George. I have no clue where I am. I'm just following directions. I'm in the middle of Alabama somewhere.
So you're in Alabama.
Yeah, because my wife does not like going through Chattanooga and Atlanta, so we come 65 and we go over. So I'm in Bainbridge, Cairo. I don't even know where I'm at.
Well, congratulations either way. Let's
thanks,
now
George. Appreciate
review. The first pick last week was Chuck McDowell. He chose Hawaii plus 2.5. The final game on the board Saturday night, and they lost 23-13. So Chuck gets no points. He is 1-4 on the year with 3.5. Chuck, what do you know about that game?
I don't think that was the right score, was it? I thought they lost by 2 points. But it don't matter. Here's the bottom line. It looked a lot closer when it was over than it really was.
You know what? I think you're right. I think I miswrote it. So my
I think
apologies.
It was 23-21 because I won both sides. But they scored late, went for 2. I made a big cute to have gone for 2 and got it, so I could have won this. But the other stuff was a lot more important.
Greg Pogue had the upset of the week. The Maryland Terrapins went to Camp Randall and showed them who daddy was. Maryland in a rout, 27-10 over a Wisconsin team that suddenly has Luke Fickell in big trouble. Pogie, congrats.
Thank you. I actually did them on the money line as well with legally in this state of Tennessee. So, yeah, it was a good day all the way around. I just thought Wisconsin was a problem. I'm even thinking now that win by Alabama, that wasn't a very good win at all. So we'll see. But, yeah, it's a good win. Got some points.
Kelly Holcomb, meanwhile, feeling very confident about his pick, took the Fighting Illini of Illinois. They were a 6-point dog going to Indiana. Kelly, congratulations, because your team, if you had had Illinois plus 52, would have been a loser. Final, Illinois 63. Oh, make that. Let me redo that. Final, Indiana 63, Illinois 10. What in the world?
George, yeah, I agree, George. I found out about Fernando Mendoza. In my opinion, he's one of the better quarterbacks. He may be the best in the country right now, playing really good. And I feel so bad about that pick. I probably should get my 5.5 points that I've already won back, but I'm not.
No, I understand. So I didn't give Pogie's victory the proper stuff. Pogie is now 1-4. He is the leader in the competition with 13.5. Kelly, the same cannot be said for you.
Whoa.
Pogie's won 2, George.
Yeah, I've won 2 in a row.
You're right.
Yeah, the Rutherford County Caucus is about to have problems with you, George, if you don't pick your game up. Focus,
Listen,
let's go.
Lighten up. Okay, 2 screw-ups already. This commissioner thing, not as easy as I thought it was. Okay, and then we get to my pick, a pick that was mocked by the entire group. And all I have to say to you all is Memphis State Tigers, baby. Memphis, plus 7.5, wins 32-31. That improves my record to 3-2, 13 points for the year, and only a half point behind Pogie. Guys, you should be ashamed of how little you respected Memphis.
What a joke, George.
That fumble was, I could hear you scream when that fumble happened.
You all are so bitter.
What a joke. You're a joke, George.
That was a good game. Good pick.
Kelly,
You're a joke, George.
nice sportsmanship on your end, pal. And then we go.
George, but no. This is the longest you've ever been talking about Memphis without saying you were the former play-by-play guy.
That's right.
And I absolutely was. And then we get to the general, who took one of the all-time screwings that has happened in a while by way of the officials. General had Auburn +7 on the road at Oklahoma. He lost 24-17. The General's record is now 2-3. He has 11 points and sits in third place. General, your reaction?
I didn't know the refs had a bet on the game.
They did.
General, did you watch it?
Yes, I did. It was the worst, the very worst I've ever seen an official crew in my life.
It was bad.
What'd you think about the deception play, General?
That's it. I mean, well, I sort of blame the Auburn players for that because as a former defensive back, the one thing you're taught is you, as a cornerback, you look to that sideline and nobody ever gets outside of you unless you're on the sideline. You watch for things like that. That's what you're taught from day one is you watch that sideline and make sure nobody sneaks over there.
General, the thing that was, I think, most alarming to me in watching the game, that's the play that's gotten the most attention. But the truth of it is there were 2 or 3 other plays that Auburn got absolutely hosed on.
Oh, the one where he tackles the guy going in the end zone and the ball goes in, they don't call anything. I mean, he literally tackled the receiver. The other thing is Auburn's quarterback's not as good as I thought he was.
By the way,
he sits there too long and doesn't have that natural instinct of knowing when to get rid of the ball. And
he's just a modern quarterback, General. That's the way they all play. That's what all these coaches want. They want guys that can run around and make plays.
Hey, by the way, I got to read a comment from a listener because knowing a little bit about where this is coming from, this is hilarious. George is the Ford Frick of Underdog commissioners. Poggy, that's pretty good.
I prefer.
I'm not sure what he just said.
I'm not sure either.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you.
He kind of faded. He kind of faded away there. Okay, here's the order of picking this week as we go to the break. The General is in the leadoff position. Chuck McDowell, number 2. Poggy is 3rd. Kelly is 4th. And I will pick 5th. So that's really where we are right now. Again, the standings. Poggy is our leader in the clubhouse, but not for long, with 13.5. I'm right behind him at 13 points. The General, a 5-time winner in this competition, has 11. Kelly, congratulations to you on your 5.5. And Chuck, it's time to pick it up at 3.5 points.
Go to the top of the hill, get a better signal.
I've got 3.5 points. That's good.
Yes. Okay. Stay tuned. We'll come back and get this week's Underdog picks on the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
A golf cart from Mikey's Motors is the perfect way to get around this summer. Whether you're going to the park, the pool, or the playground, do it in a brand new golf cart from Mikey's Motors, Franklin and Murfreesboro.
Summertime fun in Tennessee. That's what we sell at Mikey's Motors. Come see how we roll.
It's easy to say good things about the folks at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers. Number one, I trust them with something that's near and dear to me, the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. But more importantly, I see the fun people have. They enjoy the bowling, they enjoy the camaraderie, and you will too. Come by any of their locations and get ready to have some fun.
Convenience and value, two words that we expect. Convenience and value, two words that we expect when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to deliver just that, both to our school partners and to our customers. Whether you're purchasing photos, yearbooks, class jewelry, letter jackets, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience easy, convenient, and cost-effective. Find out more at jhacompany.com or call 615-867-6345 for more information. JHA, one source, one company.
If you are paying too much for benefits, if you are paying too much for your health insurance to tackle the high cost of health, if you are paying too much for your health insurance, you know what? You need to contact the folks at Pancoast Benefits. Pancoast works with businesses and individuals to tackle the high cost of health insurance. Whether you're a business owner, large or small, self-employed, between jobs, or over the age of 65 and in need of a Medicare plan, Pancoast can help. They make understanding your benefits less difficult and more personal. So check them out today, pancoastbenefits.com, or call them at 615-292-3400. IV therapy? Are you looking for expert medical care in Nashville without leaving your home? Medical House Calls brings concierge-level health care directly to your door. Whether you need urgent attention, ongoing primary care, revitalizing IV therapy, or medically guided weight loss, our experienced providers are just a phone call away at 615-838-2375 or go online, medicalhousecalls.com. Okay, we are back, and we are about to find out who the underdog picks are, the contestants for this week. By the way, we are at Sports and Social in Green Hills for what is football night in Nashville. When you come in tonight, the game is going to be a really good one. Arizona and Seattle is one that feels like it might go right to the wire. When you come in tonight, register to win that $15,000 plus golf cart, courtesy of the folks at Mikey's Motors. I'm also going to have a Pop-A-Shot competition for a really nice prize, and I'm going to do some trivia as well. So when you come in, you got a chance to make some good things happen. The first pick of the day belongs to the General Al Dorsey. Hit the music, folks. Okay, General. A lot of study. I'm sure there's been a lot of looking at the gold sheet, talking to Guido. Who we got?
We're going to go quick. Oregon Ducks.
The Oregon Ducks in the whiteout. They are, according to this, a 3.5-point dog at Penn State. I think all of us think that's got a shot.
Yes.
General, congratulations.
We'll have to wait and see. Of course, that's a kiss of death when everybody agrees.
Yeah, but it's an it's a pick that makes sense. Okay,
Thank you, George. That means a lot to me.
Yeah, I know it does. I can feel the sarcasm. Next up, in last place, trying to regain the trust of the public. Here's Chuck McDowell. Who we got, Chuck?
Well, as bad as I want to take Utah State to upset Vanderbilt, because it is time for Vanderbilt to be Vanderbilt, but also like LSU, but that's only plus 1.5. I'm going to get Virginia plus 6.5 or 7 at home against Florida State. We're going to find out this week if Florida State is what everybody thinks they are.
That is a Friday night game in Charlottesville. I've got Virginia plus 7 in Charlottesville against Florida State. Was that on anybody else's radar?
I looked at it, but I think Florida State's just better than too much better than Virginia.
Me too.
Well,
but who am I talking? I mean, who am I talking? My team got beat by 100 last week, so I don't need to be giving advice to anybody.
That's a good point, Kelly.
Yeah, it is.
What happened is embarrassing. Okay, Pogie.
I'm always honest. You can bet on that.
Yes, Pogie is in the third slot. Hit the music. Pogie looking for 2 in a row. Where are we going?
Three in a row.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Jeez.
Good. Kelly.
He's got a lot of fines coming, Pogie. Don't worry about it.
But he's having to work, technical stuff, and that we're all messed up when he's in charge of technical. That's right. Hey, by the way, I broke up for a second. Hey, who did the general pick? I'm sorry.
The general has chosen Oregon.
Okay, good.
Are you broadcasting from Uganda?
Nairobi, I think, somewhere through there. So is Syracuse catching 5.5?
Hold on a second. Is there a problem somewhere? I heard somebody groan.
That's the one I'm stewing over, and I wondered if somebody was going to pick that.
Well, then you don't have to worry about it. I'm going to take it. Did Syracuse just not beat Clemson? I don't get this number at all.
But their quarterback's hurt.
I know, but they're at home getting 5.5. They're the better team, even without that quarterback is a 3-point at the most deal. I'm gonna take Syracuse at home plus the 5.5.
You suck, Pogie.
Thank you. Thank you. So there seems to be some division within the Rutherford County caucus.
I mean, I thought we were supposed to be helping each other here, Hall.
No.
Gosh.
Greg, he meant that in the most loving, kind, Christian way possible.
I can tell. In the most Lincoln County redneck way.
Yeah.
Fourth on the list is Kelly Holcomb.
And you can't make us run, 'cause when them old boys raised on shotgun, we say grace and we say ma'am. If you ain't into that, we don't give a damn.
That's right. That's right. Come on. Okay, so since Pogie that's a good pick. I was going to take it because I was between two teams, and that had more points. I think I'm going to take, and I hope the Hoover kid is not hurt, but I'm going to take, they've already been beat this year by Mississippi State. I'm going to say TCU beats Arizona State.
Okay, hold on a second, because this one.
It's a 3-pointer, I think. 3.5, 3.
That's a Friday night game. TCU is a 3-point underdog at Arizona State. Out in the Valley of the Sun, or whatever they call it.
That's who I got.
Okay. The fifth and final pick goes to the interim commissioner, who apparently has butchered enough things today that I won't be in consideration for the full-time job. Fifth, certainly last, but hardly least, is me. Kelly.
Yes, sir.
As you know, your team got beat a week ago by 53.
Yeah, I know.
And you know what? Just to shove it down your
That's
throat.
another good pick, George. That's a good pick. I saw that one too.
They're going to play really well. USC is a paper tiger. They're a fraud. Take Illinois. Go with Brett, whatever his name, Bulimia, whatever. Illinois Fighting Illini.
God.
Plus 6.5.
What stage of bulimia does he have?
Don't know.
Hey, look, it's early onset. Look at him.
Yeah. Maybe we can get him some help. Maybe medical house calls can go help him out.
That's messed up, folks.
Chuck, let me give you an address.
I'll send him an IV real quick.
Okay, in review, here's what we've got. The General, Al Dorsey, having been royally screwed a week ago, bitter, upset, not liking Auburn's quarterback. This week, he chooses the whiteout game, and he takes the Oregon Ducks plus 3.5 in what appears on paper to be an outstanding pick. Chuck McDowell, low man on the totem pole, 3.5 points. Really not happy with his performance thus far. He takes Virginia in a Friday night game against the Florida State Seminoles, a game to be played in Charlottesville. Greg Pogue, the leader in the clubhouse, by a half point. He chooses Syracuse, and he says to himself, why are they the underdog? And Kelly Holcomb, who got beat by 53.
How many points? Hey, George,
Yes.
Curry. What's the official points? I know Pogue said 5, but what is the official?
I had it 5.5.
You had it 5.6, 7.5, 7.5.
What is it? Am I getting more?
I think it was 2.5.
Commissioner, that's where you need a commissioner.
Yeah, hold on a second. You're going to get 4.5.
Oh, wow. Just for running your lips. Like it.
And I had to get the signal up here. I'm going to pull that.
Are we talking to somebody else?
Yeah, I was about ready to be towed off, and I thought.
I thought I heard him say double quarter pounder.
Yeah.
Put the officer on the line. We'll tell him what's going on. Anyway, Pogie has Syracuse plus 4.5. Kelly Holcomb, somewhere in Alabama, doesn't seem to know where he is, appears to be a little disheveled. He takes Arizona, he takes TCU plus 3 tomorrow night at Arizona State. And then your second place, your runner-up at the moment, that would be me. Just to sort of twist the knife a little more in Kelly's back, I'm taking the Fighting Illini. The good Illini are going to show up this week, and they're going to beat Southern Cal. Illinois plus 6.5 at home against the fraudulent Trojans. Gentlemen, those are this week's picks.
I know I'm playing Oregon. I'm just going to start playing whatever he's got every week.
George, you're still a joke.
Kelly, I'd like to try to see you be the commissioner.
I can do it. I can do it a lot better than that.
Yeah, I'm not sure you could. But in spite of all the insults, gentlemen, best of luck.
Yeah. Whatever.
Hope you all win.
Yeah, right.
I'll be rooting for you.
Thanks, Chuck.
Have a great week.
Chuck, are you really rooting for
my week?
Chuck, are you really rooting for everybody?
Absolutely. But only if we go 5-0. If it's 4-1, then y'all all suck. Yeah.
Hey guys, thank you, Kelly. Are you staying around?
I can stay with you.
Okay.
Yep.
The rest will leave the premises.
Adios.
Adios. It is. We will go to the break, and then Kelly Holcomb will join us from somewhere down in Alabama. This is the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
Sports and Social at Green Hills Mall is the new home for our Football Night in Nashville promotion. Their food is terrific. Their TV setup looks like a racing sports book in Vegas. And if you're a sports fan, you can't beat it. Starting September the 4th, we'll broadcast from Sports and Social every Thursday night. There's Pop-A-Shot, great football, and the chance to win a beautiful Mikey's Motors golf cart. See you at Sports and Social in Green Hills Mall. The Georgia's officer Garen Hoskins for the Metro Nashville Police Department.
The Metro Nashville Police Department is on the forefront of policing in this century, and I'm glad I'm a part of it. I'm glad I get to find other good officers, other future good officers. And if you're watching today, or you yourself or someone you happen to know is interested, join MNPD.com. Feel free to reach out to us because we need good officers, and it's a great city to work for.
Just going to be the start of many.
If you want to be, Star Physical Therapy it's simple. Star Physical Therapy was established in 1990. Again, Plaster George at Star Physical. We will fit your budget. Star Physical Therapy was established in 1997 with one great mission: to serve. If you're hurting, don't wait to receive physical therapy. You don't need a referral to see their physical therapist, and early morning and evening appointments are available. Make the call to 615-673-1420 and get rid of that pain. Star Physical Therapy, the official health provider of Football Friday.
It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
We're back. It's a little quiet right now at Sports and Social in Green Hills Mall, but in about 2 hours, this place will start hopping, and we've got a lot of fun things set for tonight. Parker Kelly kind of rejoins us. What did you learn as far as being commissioner?
I learned that Kelly has really doubted his picks. He picked Illinois to cover, and they lost by over 500. So I don't know if I trust his picks from here on out.
Yeah, Kelly will rejoin us here in just a minute. So, as you know, this is a week that has some unbelievable games. Alabama, Georgia, LSU, Ole Miss, Oregon, Penn State, Ohio State, Washington. I've probably left out a couple that are really good. But if you had one game to watch and one game only, what is it?
Putting me on the spot here, George. I'd have to go Oregon and Penn State. And it slightly edges out Georgia and Alabama. And for one reason. One, we're going to see how legit this Penn State team is because they get a top 5-6 team in their building. James Franklin is 1-19 his last 20 games versus top 5 opponents. It gets them in their building. It's a whiteout. It's a Big Ten conference game. This is a rematch of last year's Big Ten championship. Could be a future matchup in the Big Ten championship this upcoming season. So we're going to see. We're going to see how legit Penn State is. I have a good feeling about Oregon, though.
Let me guess. Is Kelly, can we tell if Kelly is ready?
No sign of Kelly yet.
Okay. I know back at the station, you guys are trying to reach him. God only knows where he is in Alabama. But I'd be curious if he could only watch one game this week, what would it be? Anyway, we're in a little bit of a four-corner stall here. We're going to get Kelly back in here in just a second by way of phone, get him a little better connection. By the way, tonight when you come in here, register to win the golf cart. I'll be passing out the registration slips. If I don't come to you, come to me, because that's a great prize. Somebody's going to have a heck of a Christmas.
Yeah, no, that golf cart out there looks pretty sweet, George. I don't know how you pulled that off, but it looks really good.
Don't ask any questions.
I won't. Off-air discussions.
Yeah. So we've got this weekend of college football with a ton of big games. And, of course, Alabama, Georgia is in Tuscaloosa. Actually, it's in Athens. My bad. Kelly is apparently good to go. Kelly, you there?
I am here, yes, and I am in the state of Georgia now.
Well, that's wonderful. Congratulations.
Yeah,
So if you had one game to watch and one game only this weekend with this absolute jam-packed great games, what would it be?
I would like to see the Oregon-Penn State game, because I don't think, people down in our neck of the woods don't get to see Oregon much. And everybody keeps talking about how good Penn State is, and they're in the top 5. A lot of people have them ranked number 2. So I would like to see that game, because I think Oregon's really good. I think you're going to get the same thing kind of you got from Penn State last year with the Drew Allers kid. Just don't, for some reason, man, he doesn't do it for me. He never really has, but there's always a proving ground, and I think this is a big game for him, and I think it's a big game to see if Oregon is as good as everybody thinks they are, because I think they may be.
Okay, so let me ask both of you this, and Parker, I'll start it with you. Penn State desperately wants to win a national title. Great story in The Athletic about how they finally got their NIL collectives in one piece, and that has fueled a better roster. But when I see and hear the name Drew Aller, I just kind of go, I just don't get any real warm and fuzzy out of that. What is it? Either he's missing or I'm missing about him?
Well, NFL scouts love him because he has all the intangibles. And when it comes to on the field, I think the biggest complaint that I have with Drew Aller is not anything regarding arm talent, size. When he tucks the ball and runs it, he's a pretty decent athlete. It's something that is pretty slept on about his game. What I will say, my big knock on him is when the time comes that he needs to pull the trigger, oftentimes he's hesitant. We saw that a lot versus Notre Dame in the college football semifinals last year. We've seen that so far this year. The downfield passing game has not been overwhelmingly present so far this season, and they've played a lot of nobody, so it hasn't really. They could be storing something up for the Oregon game, but they went out and they got a trio of receivers from the transfer portal that should help, and that's something that Penn State has not had in seasons under James Franklin. So we'll see if they have something up their sleeve for Oregon. I'm sure they do. And we'll see if Drew Aller pulls the trigger versus a very good Ducks defense.
So, Kelly, what is it we're missing on him, or what is it he's missing that has us going?
I think Parker did a good job of describing him. The only thing that I can add to that, and he kind of already said it, was he doesn't make the play when he has to make the play. That's what all true quarterbacks, great quarterbacks do. They have to make the play when the play presents itself in the big moments, and he just hasn't done that. Now, when you go, he talked about the game last year against Notre Dame. That was the first experience that he's had, and it takes multiple experiences sometimes to get comfortable with things like that. Like, it's just like I've talked about. I use the analysis of, when you go to sleep on the Sunday before the Masters and you're you're on the top of the leaderboard, and you've never done that before, there's a lot of pressure. Can you sleep that night? Can you get up? and can you, experience those moments, and can you play big in those moments? And sometimes people don't handle that well the first time they do it. It's the same thing in all sports, but the same thing in college football. Like, you have to be in that experience to understand that experience when you see it again. So he just hasn't done it for me in the big moments yet. That's not saying he can't, but I think that's what everybody's waiting on, for him to kind of put a cap on his career at Penn State and get them over the top to, as you say, get James Franklin a national championship.
Guys, it feels to me like there's mental baggage at Penn State. They never beat Ohio State when it matters. They never beat Michigan when it matters. Their fan base certainly reminds them of that a lot. So do they go into this game with a baggage that Oregon doesn't feel?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is kind of a new deal with Oregon coming into the Big Ten. But you're right, George. They can't beat those two teams. And Oregon's starting to present itself as one of those teams. They've got to get over the hump, too. I think both these teams are in kind of the same situation because, with Marcus Mariota and all the success that Oregon's had in the last decade, but they have not been able to get over that hump either. So I think this is a proven ground for both teams, in my opinion.
It's the stat that everybody loves, returning production. Penn State returns about 78% of last year's team. And just because they have not won the big game doesn't mean that they can't. But I will preface that with saying, if they don't do it this year, it may not happen for a long time. They've set up perfectly where they've got additions from the transfer portal, but they've recruited out of high school, which is the lifeblood of the sport. And they have guys returning who are in their third, fourth years. Drew Aller being one of those. Both of their running backs, Nicholas Singleton, Katron Allen. So just because they have not beaten a top 5 team, top 6 team, doesn't mean they can't. But ultimately, they have to go out and they have to prove that on Saturday.
Okay, let's go from the Big Ten's big game to the SEC's headliner. Alabama, Georgia. Georgia's undefeated. Alabama isn't. Does that mean there's more pressure on Alabama?
I think so, yeah. I think you really don't know. I'm not sure either team. Georgia's been tested. Alabama's been beaten. Georgia went into Neyland Stadium, and, I think Kirby Smart after the game was kind of surprised that they won the game, but with the success that he's had against Josh Heupel, I don't know why he was surprised. It just seems like things always work out. But I think the Gunnar Stockton kid, I think he played really well. I think that was a huge stepping stone for him. Georgia's been there. They've done that. They're at home. Kalen DeBoer, I think, that was the first time that I think a first-year coach has had 10 wins or 9 wins in their first year as a head coach at Alabama. So he's got a lot of pressure on him. I think Ty Simpson's playing really good, but they played some powder puff these last couple of weeks. It's going to be interesting to see how he plays against the top-notch defense. But with that being said, I'm not sure that their defense is as good as the defense has been when you watch what UT did against them and Joey Aguilar, and I think he's a pretty good player. But I don't know if the Georgia defense is kind of what we've seen in the last couple of years. So I think there's more pressure on Alabama, because I think that they're looking to – obviously they're looking to get in the 12-team playoff, and I think if Kalen DeBoer does not win this game – I mean, it was bad when they lost to Florida State, but if he doesn't win this game, man, he's behind the 8 ball, and he's got a lot of SEC games he's got to play. So I think there's way more pressure on them than there is on Georgia.
I'm going to side with Kelly on this one. Georgia's won 33 straight at home. I think that Tennessee win in Neyland kind of, not to say that people forgot about Georgia, but Georgia wasn't being talked about as much as they typically talked about in the preseason. And now a lot of people are talking about Georgia. But Alabama, if they lose this game, which Georgia is favored to win, they'll fall to 2-2, and then they have Vanderbilt waiting for them in week 5. And Alabama's going to be ready to go, but also so is Vanderbilt. And if Alabama, dare I say, falls to 2-3, I don't even want to imagine the toxicity that will be coming out of Tuscaloosa.
Oh, I don't think you'll have to imagine it. If he's 2-3 a week from now, he's gone at some point. They're not going to put up with this for any length of time. In particular, if they continue to look kind of like they did at Florida State, which was they didn't really look like they cared.
Yeah, they did not. They kind of gave up in that game, and that's really not what you've seen in the last 17 years when Nick Saban's been at the helm. You just didn't see that kind of play out of the University of Alabama. And I think that kind of surprised a lot of people. And I don't know, it seems like maybe something going on in the locker room that game. I don't know, but it just seemed like it was not the Alabama team that we expected. Now, Ty Simpson, that was his first, real big test. That was his first big start. Now, he started some games, but he hadn't started against a team like that. In Florida State, I think they were underestimated. I think everybody was underestimating them because I think they were a 2-touchdown favorite in that game. So they thought that they could sleepwalk in that game because of the previous year with Florida State going 2-10. So I don't know if they were ready to play in that game. I think that's a coaching deal. And, yeah, they've got a lot of pressure on them because if they lose this game, man, it's can you imagine the pressure? And can you imagine them coming into that game against Vanderbilt and Vanderbilt being 5-0, which they should be? They're going to be riding high, and Alabama coming off that. If they get beat by Georgia, Alabama coming off that defeat and being kind of down, that's not the game to be down because Vanderbilt will stick it to you again.
And George brought up a great point about Alabama looking like they just didn't care out there against Florida State. I still think Kalen DeBoer is a great coach. He's won everywhere he's gone. I still think he is one of the top coaches in college football. But the thing with Alabama is, you're right, the effort was not there. There was loafing, and there was just, you didn't see that under Nick Saban coach teams. And under Nick Saban, oftentimes if you were loafing on a play, you didn't have to worry about what the coaches were going to say to you in the locker room because they had player-led leaders that would rip you a new one if you didn't give anything more than or anything less than 100%. With this team, you don't have that same player-led leadership that we saw under Nick Saban. That's been the problem.
Well, I'm still of the belief until I see something really different. Kalen DeBoer is the substitute teacher. He's the guy that when the teacher came in fourth grade, all of us giggled and said, let's see how far we can push the new guy. And first of all, the concept of lack of effort under Nick Saban, he'd have killed him. He would never have put up with that. And it feels to me like under DeBoer that it's sort of the players saying, playtime. Let's see how far we can go. This is fun. We don't have the old man yelling at us anymore.
Yeah, George, I don't know if y'all feel this way, but it feels kind of to me like Kalen DeBoer has come in and he's said to himself, hey, they had this dictatorship going on here with Nick Saban. I'm going to be totally opposite instead of being himself. And I can't say that for sure, but it just seems like it feels that way to me, like he was trying to be the antithesis of what Nick Saban was, and he's got to be himself because players and teams and locker rooms see right through that stuff. And I'm like Parker. I think Kalen DeBoer is a really good coach. I really do. Now, whether he's going to make it there, don't know that. I'm not totally sure because he's in a hot box. When you come down in the Southeastern Conference and you're at a program like Alabama, is he going to make it? I don't know, but I think the guy's a good coach. I think he knows what he's doing. I think he can get those guys to winning back the way they were. And when I came into the season, I told people I didn't think Alabama was going to drop off at all. And then, they have that debacle against Florida State. So he's got a lot of pressure on him. And it just felt like that he's trying to be something that maybe he's not. He's trying to be totally opposite of what Nick Saban was. And it's hasn't up until this point worked.
So y'all give me a thought about Auburn. We all agree they got hosed as bad as any team I've seen in a long time get hosed at Oklahoma. Now they got to go to A&M. Do they come fighting back, or is there a little bit of what's the use?
Go ahead, Parker.
So the thing with Texas A&M is preseason, I thought that they could have one of the best rushing attacks in the SEC. They have a three-headed monster at running back. They have a deep offensive line. Auburn has been pretty solid at stopping the run this year, but what's been hurting them is the secondary. Texas A&M, on the other hand, what got them over the finish line in the Notre Dame game in South Bend was the explosive pass play from Marcel Reed. So if they're able to capitalize like that, like they were against Notre Dame, against Auburn, I see them winning this game, but they also have to be able to run the football to supplement because, like I said, Auburn has a very good run defense. And how often are you going to be able to win on offense when you have one hand tied behind your back?
I don't know, and I said this last week, George. I don't know. You've talked about Hugh Freeze, and you talked about what a good job he's done about not saying anything about what happened to him at Oklahoma. Just for me, even when he was at Ole Miss, it seems like that Auburn is that kind of team. Like they're really, I think they're really good defensively. I do. I think they've got those guys outside. I mean, Hugh Freeze has talked about how good his receiving core is and how that's probably the best receiving core that he's ever had. But for some reason, and I don't know why I feel this way, it's just a feeling for me, but I just feel like when they start to implode, it always happens to Hugh Freeze teams. That's just kind of how I feel. They kind of implode. I don't know why that is, I don't know. I think they're a really good football team. Can they go down to Texas A&M and beat them? Yeah, I think they probably can. But it just seems like when things start going bad, they cannot turn it around. It seems like that's the difference between the Nick Saban-led teams of old. When things were going bad, they could figure it out. They'd figure it out and they'd come back. And then with Auburn, for some reason, with this Hugh Freeze deal, I don't know. That's just kind of how I feel. I just don't feel that they kind of implode on themselves when things start going tough. So I don't know if they can or not go down to Texas A&M and beat those guys.
Do either one of you feel that Mississippi State will, in the fourth quarter, have a real chance to beat Tennessee in Starkville?
Man, I thought about that game. I thought about, that was kind of one of the games that I was looking at. I had a bunch more, but I just think that Tennessee, I said it yesterday, Tennessee always has a hiccup on the road against somebody. Last year it was Arkansas. I think I said the year before it was Missouri. I don't know if this is going to be it. I think Tennessee is built different now. I think Mississippi State is obviously better, as we've talked about, but I'm just not sure that they're up to UT's level. But if UT plays down, like they do some cases when they go on the road with this Josh Heupel-led team, they can kind of lay an egg, and I can see that happening. I don't think it'll happen, but I can see it happening because it's happened in the past.
Yeah, I'm not going to rule it out. I still think Mississippi State is a good football team. As of right now, I'm picking Tennessee to win, but can they avoid, like Kelly talked about, can they avoid that weird upset that seems to happen every year? Last year, it was Arkansas. The year before that, it was Florida. Can Tennessee avoid that this year? Mississippi State, they went out and they got a bunch of Tony Basilio talked about this, got a bunch of players on the defensive line that are going to rush the passer. Will Tennessee's offensive line be able to hold up? Will they be able to convert big explosive plays down the field? I'm picking Tennessee to win, but I could absolutely see Mississippi State being in it in the fourth quarter.
Okay. Just a little bit of a look at some of the big games that are going on. After the break, we will have Plaster Bet of the Day, and it will be one where I'm saying the wrong team is favored. This is the George Plaster Show.
When you're all in for game day, Electronic Express has you covered with the largest selection of in-stock appliances and TVs that put you right in the action. For a limited time, feed your game day crowd with an LG kitchen built for tailgating at home. Plus, get a free 65-inch smart TV when you buy 2 or more qualifying LG appliances. Shopping local comes with perks, like free delivery and up to 24 months of interest-free financing. Visit us in-store or online at electronicexpress.com. We've got that.
The Nashville Oktoberfest is quickly approaching, and now's the time to get your dirndls, lederhosen, and party steins ready. From local breweries to live music to festival artisans, you can't go wrong celebrating this fun Germantown tradition. The Nashville Oktoberfest 2025, Thursday, October 2nd through the 5th at Bicentennial Mall in Germantown. Prepare yourself for 4 days of brats, beer, live music, and competitions. General admission is $10. VIP experience reservations still available at NashvilleOktoberfest.com. Prost, y'all!
Guys, it's Derry, co-host of the podcast Single Tree Nation. Are you ready to help us build community? We have some amazing stories of incredible entrepreneurs and business leaders in the area. Join us every Saturday from 8 to 9 a.m. on ESPN 94.9 The Fan. Can't make it Saturdays? No problem. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and never miss an episode.
This is Freddie and Harry.
I heard this conversation last year with Kansas City. Oh, they're winning too many close games. This is going to keep them from getting out of AFC and get to the Super Bowl. And they got to the Super Bowl before the smoke was being nodded by Philadelphia Eagles. This Eagles team, they don't want to play like that. But if anybody can play like that, win close games this year, and still win a Super Bowl, right now, that's the only team that can do that. They could be a 2025 version of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Our bet of the day is brought to you by Art Durham Injury Law. And George, another loss for you brings you to 44, 46, and 1.
Yeah, whatever. So it didn't work.
Did not work.
We're 2 under 500 at the moment. Actually, it did work. I had the Dodgers last night. I was 3 under.
Okay, yeah, you were 43.
Yeah, let's not cheat me. So, Kelly, this is the classic case where on paper the wrong team is favored. Arizona is really good, as San Fran found out Sunday. It took everything San Fran had, including a last-second field goal, to beat Arizona. Now Arizona is at home. They're a 1.5-point dog. So the question is, what does Vegas know that we don't?
They know something, that's for sure. Hey, I was going to ask you too, George. I know y'all had Danny on today, but what's happened to the Detroit Tigers?
A little bit like my picks here in the last couple of days. They've taken the gas. They're pitching now that Tarek Skubal has become, human and somewhat hittable. What's behind him in the rotation simply hadn't been good enough, and they're getting mauled.
Yeah. Lost like 8 straight, hadn't they?
Yep. It's not good.
Wow.
So, Kelly, it's a question of, are you going with me or are you going with the people in Vegas? Because I'm going Arizona Cardinals. I think they win tonight. I think the wrong team's favored. I think Vegas has it wrong.
Well, I know you're giving a gift to the people, but I'm with Vegas. I'm obviously not with you. So I'm going with the guys in Vegas, the bookies.
Why is
They know
that?
what they're doing. I don't know. Because it's against you.
Oh, well, that's a lovely attitude on your end.
Kelly, you shouldn't be so confident after you picked Illinois to cover and they lost by over 100. So,
hey, Parker, we need you to stay in the cheap seats and keep your mouth shut. That's what we need. Just do the show and stay over there and be quiet. That's what we need from you.
Oh,
Better to be seen, not heard, homie.
Round 2. Hey, Billy took it just as bad as you are. So, of course, you knew this going in.
I knew it going in, and it's
Yeah.
okay because I have more coming up my sleeve. So
is that so?
It is so.
Okay.
He does. I like it, though, because he's got a little thicker skin. Like we said yesterday, he grew up in a locker room. He's a quarterback. He's got to have thick skin.
George, you always got to keep a bullet in the chamber, right?
Yeah, well, whatever. Listen, Kelly, I know you're not with us tomorrow, but tomorrow is Football Friday, and our show will originate from a terrific card show out in Franklin at the Expo at mile marker 61. We're looking forward to being out there. We'll be with you at 3 o'clock tomorrow. Until then, so long and go Arizona Cardinals.
Now, here's your latest Fox 17 Code Red weather report.
Brought to you by Window Nation. Get 2 free windows when